Hey everyone, it's your friend Think Noodles, and welcome to my first mod spotlight for Minecraft. And this one is for Better Bows version 1.4 by Zaggy1024, who is a super active mod developer and is always making additions to his mod. Now this mod is super cool, especially if you like bows and arrows. There are a ton of different arrows, brand new bows, a quiver, lots of great stuff, and I'm going to show most of it to you now. First things first, we have the quiver, and I'll just grab this here, and the way you make it is 3 pieces of leather and 1 piece of string in a V shape, and that makes the quiver. And all you have to do to use the quiver is keep it in your inventory, and if you right click on it, you can put arrows into it, and I'll just shift click and it'll put all 16 there. To get them out, you can shift click on one, or if you click the down arrow, it'll get them all out. And you can mix different types of arrows in there, and you might say, what different types of arrows? Well, I'll show you in a bit, but there are a ton of different types of arrows that you can mix and match, and the quiver will fire from this one first, and when that one runs out, I'll do this arrow and that arrow and that arrow. So, first things first, you can see the GUI at the top, see the dancing arrows, we got 16 of each. That gives you an idea of how much of a certain arrow that you have. Now let's go over here and we'll start with the bows, and let me get into survival mode here so we can see durability and things like that. And the first bow that we have is just the regular bow, although it's made differently with a piece of leather here instead of a space. And we'll grab that. When your bow breaks, it turns it into an unstringed bow, and that applies for all the different bows. And all you have to do is pull it back and it will re-string the bow. So that's the first one, and it operates just like the one that you're used to. Same range, everything, same pullback speed. And now we have the recurve bow, and the reason I fired that bow was because the crafting recipe for the recurve bow is just using a regular bow that is slightly damaged inside one of the crafting slots, and it will make a recurve bow. I can show you here real quick. It just does that and make recurve bow, but we're going to keep the bow. The difference between a regular bow and a recurve bow is that the recurve bow fires arrows faster, meaning the arrows go at a faster speed, but they have less durability and it takes longer to pull back than the normal bow. Now we're on to the long bow, and of course you use a slightly damaged bow, sticks and string, which makes a longer bow. And of course the long bow has the longest range out of any of the bows in this entire mod. It fires arrows really fast, as in arrow speed, but it takes a lot longer to pull them back, so you can only fire much less per minute. Now we have a bow that is called the Yumi, and it is a completely different crafting recipe. You guys see here with the sugar canes and leather and string, and we'll grab that. Now the Yumi bow has the same durability as the normal bow and the long bow, but higher power and range than the recurve bow, and it takes a little bit longer to pull back than the long bow. And finally, we have the composite bow, which was just added to the mod, and the composite bow, obviously, as you can see, has the most complicated recipe of all. It requires quite a few steps. I'll show you guys in a second, but the composite bow is the fastest rate of fire, although it is the slowest arrow. So like a regular composite bow, you can pull it back quickly, but it doesn't have the range that the other bows have. Now, this is how you complete it. You need 2 pieces of rotten flesh, you need a water bottle, a bone, a stick, leather, 3 pieces of string, and coal for the furnace. And the way you do this is you go ahead and bring up the crafting table here, and we'll take 1 piece of rotten flesh, turn it into sinew. Then we'll take another piece of rotten flesh and a water bottle, turn that into bottled rotten flesh. Then we'll take the furnace here, put coal in, and we will make, as soon as this is done, come on, we're almost there. There we go, bottled hide glue. Then we have all the items that we need, and we can take the bottled hide glue here, and the sinew, and the stick, the leather, the 3 pieces of string, and finally the bone. And there you go, composite bow. So I guess we'll just keep 2 of those. Now, let's check out the fire rates on these. And you can check it out here. This is about 24 blocks away, and I'm just gonna aim right at the bullseye there, best I can. And I wanna pull back here, and this is the regular bow, and you can see where that falls. Now the recurve bow, and as you guys can see, the pullback is a lot quicker on that one, and it fires much more accurate. Finally, the long bow, you can see, is the longest pullback of all, but I mean, that thing shoots right down the middle. I mean, take a look at that. I mean, that's a dead bullseye. We have the Yumi bow, and that is pretty good as well. About the same as the recurve bow. And finally, we have the composite bow, and this one's gonna fall way short, but did you see how fast it pulls back? So, I mean, look at that. It's really fast. But you have to aim way up to get that thing to hit the bullseye. Okay, now we have covered all of the bows, and as you guys can see, my quiver is emptying with the right one first. And let's go ahead and check out some arrows and some recipes for those arrows. And I'm glad that I lit everything up because, well, it got darker quicker than I thought it would. So the first type of arrow is the fire arrow. And the way you make it is just a regular arrow with some coal or blaze powder and 2 arrows, which will make 2 fire arrows. And once I show you all the crafting recipes, we'll grab all of these out of creative. And the next one we have is the torch arrow. And the torch arrow is obviously just an arrow and a torch. And the cool thing about the torch arrow is you can fire multiple torch arrows into one block and all the torches will stick. It's actually really cool. I think it has something to do with Forge and how he was able to do that. Ender arrow, I'm sure you guys can guess. Arrow, ender pearl, makes an ender arrow. And the cool thing about that is it's kind of like throwing an ender pearl, except when the arrow lands or hits something, it teleports you. So it's a quicker way of throwing an ender pearl. Now this is a potion arrow, and you can use any type of potion you want, a regular potion of poison or a splash potion of poison. Lots of different ones. You can use healing potions. You can use any potion you can make, you can put onto an arrow. Now the next one that we have here is the impact explosive arrow, which you make with an arrow, gunpowder, and a redstone torch. And this one hits its target and immediately explodes. It's kind of a small explosion. And then you have the timed explosive arrow, which is arrow, 2 pieces of gunpowder, and string. And this one hits its target, and about 1.5 seconds later, it explodes, and it's a big explosion, like about the size of a creeper. The next one that we have is the drill arrow. And the drill arrows are a very expensive crafting recipe, but the nice thing about these is that you can pick them up and use them again. So what you need is 3 pieces of flint, a sticky piston, redstone torch, and 3 arrows, and this will give you 3 drill arrows. And what will happen is when you fire the arrow, it will break through 6 blocks of stone, just like a drill. And they'll actually go through mobs as well and stick in the wall and drill through that as well. But when it has gone off, you'll be able to pick it up and it will be missing its arrowhead. And then you just use 1 piece of flint on the broken arrow and you will get the new drill arrow. And finally, we have splitting arrows, and this can be made of all kinds of different arrows. And the way you make them is to place 2 or more arrows into the crafting table along with about half that number of strings. So, 2 arrows with 1 piece of string will make a double splitting arrow, or 3 in 1. But if we put a 4th arrow, we'd need 2 pieces of string. And right here, you'd do 6 and 3. And this would make a 6 splitting arrow, and you could put another 6 splitting arrow with it and make like a 12 splitting arrow like this, 12 splitting torch arrow, and of course it applies for all arrow types. So now let me grab a bunch of the different arrows and I'll be right back. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got a bunch of different arrows here that I'm going to try out, and we've got some in the quiver because the mod author did say that, you really do need to use the quiver to judge the pullback time on the bows. And that's the first one, and as you can see, you've got the fire on it as it pulls back. Really, really cool. And also, as you can see, the quiver does pick from the left. I'm not sure why it was picking from the right before. Maybe because they were all full stacks and they were all the same. But if they're different, it plays from the left. So we'll just fire something into here so that we don't set too much on fire. And there you go. So you can see that'll set it on fire. And I'll show you guys, you can get into a lot of trouble with this mod with the skeletons, especially as you guys know how skeletons are. So one thing you can do obviously with a fire arrow is you can hit a chicken and it'll cook them, which is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and bump that out of the quiver there. And next up is the torch arrow. And I think I've got a little cave down here that I can show you guys the torch arrow here. Yeah, so you just go ahead and fire your torch wherever you want it to stick. And as I said, you can put a bunch of torches in the same block, which is really, really cool. And you can pick the arrows back up. But I think they pick up as regular arrows. But I'm in creative, so, well, let's game mode S. And let's go ahead and fire that and see what comes out. So there it is. And let's see, pick up the arrow. Yeah, it picks up as a regular arrow. Now, the cool thing too is once you've fired these, and we've got all these in here, right? If you want one back, you can just knock it off and the torch comes off. And like I said, there's multiple in one block, which I think is super cool. All right, and we'll go back to creative so we can play with the ender arrows because those are really fun. So now we're on to ender arrows here, and might as well use the longbow to, well, I wonder if I can get all the way up there. Let's see. So the ender arrow, as you can see, the ender pearl on the end of the arrow, really cool animation. And let's see if we can, yes. Oh, I went over. Okay, well, I guess maybe that was too far. Oh, okay. Jeez, where? Okay. I am not even sure where we ended up, guys. Let's go ahead and find out where. Wow. We went far. I think it's over this way. So anyway, like I said, you gotta be careful, I guess, with firing those because your arrows can go super duper far, farther than you expect them to. A lot farther than you could ever throw an ender pearl. And oh, I think it's off this way. I'll be right back in a second, guys. All right, guys, I finally made it back, and all of my chunks are reloading. But anyway, let's try it again. So yeah, you go here, hit that, and yeah, it takes you straight there. Go down here. Boom. Love it. That thing sent me so far away, it's not even funny. Maybe it's a little funny. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. And of course, we have the potion arrow, and right now I've got it set to poison, so we'll go over here, and as you guys can see, it's a splash potion, like I said. So what we'll do is we can use the Recurve Bow, and it should affect all three of them. Well, right, see, so there we go. Killing all the chickens, or poisoning them all, which is kind of cool as well. All right, now the fun stuff, and I know that those are pretty fun, but nothing's as fun as explosives. So we got impact explosive, timed explosive, and drill arrows. So we'll start with the impact explosive arrow, and we might as well go into here, and let's just fire it at the wall here. And the bows don't affect, and you can see the tip of it. It looks like an explosive there. And the bow that you use doesn't affect how powerful the explosions are, but it does affect where they go. So boom. So you see this one's pretty small. Still fun, but very small explosion. Now let's go ahead and kick that one out. And then we've got the timed explosive arrow. And like I said, it takes about 1.5 seconds, but, and you can see the fuse on it. Check this out. Now that is what oh, whoops. Almost ruined my setup there. And there you go. And boom. All right, nice. Now we have the drill arrow, and I've never tried this one, so kind of excited about this one. It's a new one that was just added to the mod recently, so I'm anxious to see. Wow, that looks awesome. Here we go, guys. It's supposed to go through 6 blocks. Oh, wow, that is awesome. Check that out. And oh man, that is so cool. Wow. Gives a whole new meaning to branch mining, guys. And I wonder, I don't have to fire it that far because I'm right in front of it. So there you go. Awesome. Now, the other cool thing you can do with these, of course, is you can put them all together. So we got a 4 splitting arrow, which is just a regular arrow, and it splits into 4. So we go here and There you go. So let's get further away so we can get an idea of how this works. So there's a target up there. It's a long bow, so we should not really have to aim too high for it, but there you go. And you see the 4 arrows there. Let's see how accurate this thing is at distance. Let's try it like that. Okay, and you see they split off quite a bit, but still hit the target. So, and of course, at close range, they're gonna all hit the same spot, which is pretty cool. Now we have the next one is an 8 splitting timed explosive arrow. Oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, should we try it down here? Let's try it down here. So this is supposed to be 8 timed explosive arrows all at once. So let's just do this, and I hope I don't blow myself up. Okay. Oh man. Now that is a good way to clear a cave. Oh, that is awesome. And you can put it up to 15, but wow, that is pretty awesome. An 8 splitting. I think I made a 12 splitting. Oh, nice. 12 splitting timed explosive arrow. So let's see what happens with this baby. Jeez. Oh man, that is awesome. It's like 12 creepers at once. That is amazing. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right, and what else did I make? A 6 splitting torch arrow. So, you know, it's kind of dark in there after we cleared it out, right, guys? So we'll go ahead and open that up and give it some light there and see if we can get it further in. And as you guys can see, that's a great way to light a cave that you're exploring. Look at that over here, the way it lit this up. Really, really nice. Very cool. Okay, and what else did I put in here? I made a 12 splitting torch arrow, so it's about the same as the other one that I just did, except more torches, of course. So there you go. 12 torch arrow. We'll just shoot it back there and see where it goes. Very cool. Probably go through torches really, really fast. Of course, you can do the same with the potions. You can do it with the drill arrows. We could try that one. Let me make some. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we'll start with the 4. I got a 4 drill, so let's see. There you go. And that is pretty impressive. Nice. And then I made a 12. So let's get the 12 out. 12 splitting drill arrow. So here we go. And we'll use the Yumi bow, and oh wow, and you can hear it, and it'll drill through just about anything. It doesn't have to be stone, but I think that's actually too many for being that close. Yeah, there you go. It's more effective when it's further away because the arrows sort of drill on one another. So anyway, this is a very cool mod. I don't have a use for it in my Let's Play because, well, there's one thing that is a bit scary, and I thought I could destroy that. There we go. One of the things that is a bit scary about this mod, and I don't know if it's supposed to be this way or, well, I mean, I assume it's supposed to be this way. It makes things a lot more difficult. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's see if I can hit that with a huge explosion. Oh no. Well, that didn't work like I wanted it to. Okay, so kind of making a mess here. Okay, so what I want to show you guys is the final thing that makes it really, really hard to use. Let me grab some skeletons here. And the thing about skeletons is it's actually kind of cool, but also kind of really scary with the way, oops, sorry, on B. So I didn't want any creepers coming up and ruining my mod spotlight. But as you guys can see, these have regular bows, but this guy, I don't know, I meant to put him in there, but he's got a long bow here. And they don't spawn seemingly with, I haven't seen any with the composite bow or the Yumi bow, but they do spawn with other bows. And let me kill this guy so I can get away from them. But once I turn it to survival, you guys will see in a second here, they'll start firing at me. And the thing about it is Here they go. They've got a lot more range, and as you guys can see, they have fire-tipped arrows, guys. And the problem with fire-tipped arrows is they set things on fire. So, not just you, and you know how accurate skeletons are, and if you can see how far their aggro range is, I think they can hit me out here. The longbow guys can, or they try to. The other nice thing is when they're grouped together and they're firing fire arrows, they end up setting one another on fire, and eventually will kill each other because, well, see, there's only one left. So not a big deal, I guess, when they're in groups. But the problem is if you're in a dungeon somewhere and they're firing fire arrows at you, or you know, maybe you're hanging around your house and a skeleton comes along and takes a couple shots at you and burns your whole house down. Really, really not cool. But yep, and look, see, like I was saying, burns your house down. See, it's burning down the structure that I built to hold them in and keep them from burning. I was trying to protect you guys from the sun, and you went ahead and burned that down. Way to go. So anyway, link to the mod is in the description below. You'll need to install Forge to get the mod to work. I recommend using Multi-MC. I'll put a link to Multi-MC in the description as well. That's what I did, and it was really easy. It's one-click install for Forge and one-click install for the mod. It was really, really easy. And you guys can play on the Better Bows mod. Really, really awesome. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, noodle on!